It is a new year, and yes, low content publishing is still a beautiful opportunity to create recurring passive income. Now, it's no secret that this business model has caught on in a really big way, and that's because of its low barrier to entry. Now, its low barrier to entry is obviously a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because it means that you or I can enter the space very easily, but it also is a curse because it means that everyone else can enter the space really easily as well. So that obviously creates a lot of competition. So the biggest challenge this year is going to remain how to get your book to break through all of the clutter and rise to the top so that you can be the one making sales. So join me right now. We're going to talk about the 5 steps to low content publishing success in 2022 and beyond. If you're new around here, my name is Rachel Harrison Sund, and I help people to create and generate passive income, creating journals, planners, notebooks, and more on the Kindle Direct publishing platform. If that sounds interesting to you, then please subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so that you can be notified every time I put out one of these videos, which is each and every Monday. All right, the very first step, which I would be remiss if I didn't just say right off the top, is you've got to have a growth mindset. You've got to start this journey knowing that this is a brand new skill that you are looking to build, and you're really not likely to get it right the first few times. And that is perfectly okay. And not only is it okay, it's to be absolutely expected. It doesn't matter who you are or what the new skill is. We all suck in the beginning, right? We all start off in that place of not knowing what we're doing, and it's hard. It's hard to be in that place, but if you can just accept that as part of the overall process towards success, then you'll be just fine because you're going to take it in stride when, if you put your first couple of books out there and you don't make any sales, it's fine. It's part of the process, right? So if you don't have a positive mindset and look at it that way, then you're very likely to get discouraged when if you do put out a first few books and they don't make any sales, or if it's just taking longer than you thought it would. If those things are happening, if you don't have a positive mindset in place, you're going to get discouraged very quickly, and you're likely to quit before you've even given yourself a chance to succeed. So positive mindset right off the top, essential to have in order to succeed in any endeavor, including this one. Step number 2 is to think long term. So I don't care what anyone else out there says. This is not fast, this is not easy, and this is not a sure thing. It takes time, effort, and patience. So this is one of the reasons why, if you're first starting out, I suggest pursuing this as a side gig. Ideally, you want to have a primary source of income coming in so that you're not reliant on this right off the bat. You want to just take the pressure off and give yourself all the time necessary to build things up slowly over time. If you don't have a primary source of income and you're looking to make money quickly, right away, then this is not something I recommend for that. Also, you must enjoy this process. Like I just said, it's going to take time. And, money is a very good motivator, but it can't be the only reason you're pursuing this. If you don't actually enjoy the process of creating these books and, all the different pieces of the process that go into it, then what's going to happen when your motivation lags, which it is going to at some point. If it's just going to be about the money and you don't actually enjoy this process, then you're not going to really have anything to fall back on when that motivation wanes, and it will at some point. So keep the long game in mind and, just give yourself the time it's realistically going to take for you to start gaining some traction. Step number 3 is to produce quality and quantity. Now, I know if you've been following me for a while, you know that my mantra has always been quality over quantity, but I do want to point out that there is a volume aspect to this. Now, the reason I'm always saying quality over quantity is because what I don't want you doing is just slapping together, thousands of really crappy books and putting them out there in the hopes that, the 1 or 2 sales that each one might make is going to add up at the end of the day. That is a strategy that works for some people, but that, like I've said before, it's not passive income because those books are not going to continue to generate sales because they are crappy books. So it's much better to spend the time and effort to creating higher quality books instead of going for the sheer volume aspect. But like I just said, there is a bit of a volume aspect to this. So you're likely going to have to create at least a few dozen books before you start making, some small income, some small recurring income. And you're likely going to have to create a few hundred books to start making some significant income, in the order of, say, a few $1,000s a month. So I obviously want you to have quality to be thought about first. Don't forget that there is a bit of a quantity aspect to this as well. So quality first, quantity second. Now, there is one caveat to this, and that is, let's say you're coming at this and you already have a built-in audience. Maybe you've got a big social media following or blog readers or whatever. If you've got a built-in audience that you can start promoting your books to right away, then it may not take you dozens or hundreds of books to get to generating that kind of an income. But for most of us, we're starting off completely from scratch. We don't have an audience, no one to promote to right out of the gate. It is going to take a little bit of time to get there. Now, in order to produce the quality, first, you're going to want to know your audience. You need to know exactly who you're talking to and create books that are geared, specifically toward a specific type of person. And the second part of this is design. Design is incredibly important. And I would say, outside of the keyword research, this is the area where I see most low content publishers fail. Design matters a lot, and books that fall short in this area, they're just simply not going to cut it. So you need to be using professional quality stock imagery if you're not designing things yourself. If you're not a professional designer, it's likely you are going to be using, professional stock imagery, which is great. That's a great way to fake it. And, if you have absolutely no capabilities in this area whatsoever, then I recommend outsourcing the entire design process. And then also, speaking to quality, you got to be creating high value and basically just forget about no content. No content, that was a viable source of income, a few years back. There's not a lot of people making a ton of money on, blank notebooks or sketchbooks or things like that now. There might be a few of you out there, and if so, that's great. I know for me personally, even a few years back when I first started, I never really gained any traction with any of the notebooks that I put out there. Notebooks are great in the beginning while you're just trying to get the hang of the publishing process and proving to yourself that you can do this, but it's not a good long-term strategy. It's way too competitive. They're the easiest books to create. So there's just like billions of them out there, and it's going to be really hard to stand out in that like extreme sea of competition. So, you might want to start off with a few, and as soon as you're comfortable in the process, it's time to forget about those and just start creating high value, low content, but think, more like medium content. Just try and stick as much value in there as you possibly can. Step number 4 is to figure out how you plan on differentiating yourself from your competitors. There's a ton of competition out there, so you really need to know what makes you different, what makes your brand and your books unique, and what you have to offer that your competitors don't. So you can check out this video here on how to make your low content books stand out from the crowd. Another way to do this is by going through some of the branding exercises that I go through in another recent video that I did all about how to create a profitable low content book brand. I've left a link to that in the description below, along with the first video that I just mentioned. And another way you can do this is through showcasing the value and the features that you have that nobody else has in your A+ content. And I recently did a video all about how to use A+ content, so you can check out that video as well. All right, the final step here is to have a promotion plan in place. There's more and more competition coming into this space all the time, and you really want to have a plan on how you plan on promoting your books if you want to scale your business. So step 1 is to create an email list. This is going to be your most important promotional tool, if you will. Now, it does take time to build, but that's all part of the thinking long term that we outlined in, I think it was step 2. This is a free way to promote your books, and it's going to be, I think, the most fruitful way for you to promote your books later on down the line as you've built it up. Once you build that email list, you're going to have a base of customers that have already purchased a book from you. And they, if they enjoyed your product, which if you're creating quality ones, then they probably will, they're going to want to hear from you. Now, every year I get emails from people that have bought my planners asking, when is the next planner coming out? All right, customers want to hear from you if they've bought a product if they're happy and they want to use that product again, they're going to be interested in hearing about your other products and they do want to hear from you. So do not neglect an email list. This is step one in promoting your books. So, once you've built that email list, it's going to start off small in the beginning, obviously, and get bigger over time, but you can promote new books to that email list. You can ask that email list for reviews on your books. So it's, like I said, this to me is the number one way of promoting your books, and it should be the first step that you start off with. Number two is paid advertising. Now for paid advertising, I recommend Amazon advertising, and you really only want to do this once you feel completely comfortable with the entire publishing process. Learning how to advertise with Amazon advertising, this is a completely new skill. So don't go there until you've got all of your other ducks in a row first, and you've started to generate a few sales. A small amount of recurring income is ideal to kind of have rolling before you venture into the world of Amazon advertising. Now, as for social media, I haven't heard of many people actually having success with this route unless you already have a big following. Of course, if you don't have a big following and you're using social media, you're not really talking to anyone. There needs to be other people on the other end of this social media platform that you're actually speaking to. So if you've already got social media following, then that could be a great way to promote your books. If not, it's definitely not my first choice for successful promotion of your books. So I'd start with an email list first, and then I would venture into the world of ads if you want to amplify your results afterward. Now, also don't forget about promoting your older books. Promoting your new books, very important. But if you've got older books that are doing well, or if you think you might want to try and give them a bit of a revival, then go ahead and promote some of your older books too. Don't forget about those assets that have been bringing you in some recurring revenue over the weeks or months that they've been live. It's a good idea to always be checking your reports on your back end, monitoring your bestsellers rank for those books. And if ones that have been doing well start to decline, see if you can revive them and pump some new life into them. So don't neglect your older books as well. Okay, there you have it. These are the areas to focus on for low content publishing success in 2022 and beyond. Now, if this whole low content publishing thing is a completely brand new concept to you, then if you want to find out more, download my free guide, 3 Steps to Publishing Your First Low Content Book in Less Than a Day. Link to that down in the description below, along with a link to my free Facebook group, Low Content Profits. If you like this video, then please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and share this video with anyone you think might find it useful. All right, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.